हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
दंडवत प्रणाम।
Prabhuji, may I start with the Guru Pranam and all? Then Archana Mataji will do that bhajan.
Yes, yes, yes.
Otherwise, we will not get time, na? Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. Vancha kalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Prabhupada ki jai ho, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai ho. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथावितान्तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्विताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपाद की जय हो। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर फलचारी यमुना तीर फलचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय राधा रासबिहारी राधा रासबिहारी राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो प्रभु जी still Mataji has not joined.
Just I spoke to her, she is joining.
Okay, okay. So we can wait, Prabhuji.
We'll wait. You can start with some smaller kirtan.
हाँ Prabhuji. Yes, yes, yes. वृंदावन रम्य स्थान दिव्य चिंतामणि धाम रतन मंदिर मनोहर वृंदावन रम्य स्थान दिव्य चिंतामणि धाम रतन मंदिर मनोहर आवृत कालिंदी अरे अर्चना माताजी has joined Prabhuji.
Okay,
Mataji please.
you finish this,
Hare
doesn't matter.
Krishna, sorry. I had some seva today. Sorry, I couldn't join in time.
Okay, okay Mataji.
So I will just start with the song then, huh?
Yes miss, I have done all Guru Pranam and Jai Radha.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji. ऊधो मन ना भय 10-20 ऊधो मन ना भय 10-20 एक हूँ तो सो गयो श्याम संग एक हूँ तो सो गयो श्याम संग को अवराधे ईस ऊधो को अवराधे ईस ऊधो मन ना भय 10-20 ऊधो मन ना भय 10-20 इंद्र शिथिल भई केशव बिना इंद्र शिथिल भई केशव बिना जो देहु बिनु शीस ऊधो जो देहि बिनु शीस ऊधो आशा लगी रहती तन श्वासा आशा लगी रहती तन श्वासा जीव ही कोटि बरीस जीव ही कोटि बरीस मन ना भय 10-20 ऊधो मन ना भय 10-20 तुम तो सखा श्याम सुंदर के तुम तो सखा श्याम सुंदर के सकल जोग के ईस ऊधो सकल जोग के ईस उधो सूर हमारे नंद नंदन बिनु, सूर हमारे नंद नंदन बिनु और नहीं जगदीश, और नहीं जगदीश, जगदीश मन ना भय 10-20, उधो मन ना भय 10-20। एक हूँ तो सो गयो श्याम संग, एक हूँ तो सो गयो श्याम संग को अवराधे ईस, उधो को अवराधे ईस, उधो मन ना भय 10-20, उधो मन ना भय 10-20। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. This is a very, very famous bhajan. I'll be talking about it also today because it is connected with today's class. Well, we'll start with the invocation prayers for today's class. We are continuing Brahmar Gita. Lesson 84 will be conducted today. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं त्वजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री पंचतत्व प्रणाम। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। संबंध विधेय प्रणाम। जेतां सुरतो पंगुर्मम मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोज राधा मदन मोहनम्। अभिधेय प्रणाम। दिव्याद वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमा श्रीमद रत्नांगर सिंहासन स्थितो श्रीमद राधा श्रील गोविंद देवो पृष्ठालिवि सेव्यमानं स्मरामि। प्रयोजन प्रणाम। श्रीमान रासरसारंभी बंसीवट तटस्थित दर्शन वेणुस्वनिर्गोपीर गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। Now we'll offer our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauroti Srinama. O most beneficent incarnation, may your Krishna himself be appearing as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishnam Sangopangostraparsadam Yagge Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Shastra Vicharanai Nipuno Shardharma Samstapako लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मान्य शरण्यकरो राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनान आनंदेन मत्तालिको वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. I welcome all the devotees to the today's session. We'll be starting with lesson 84, which is continuation of Brahma Gita. But before this, let us have the recap of lesson 83, which was covered yesterday. And that is a part of Brahma Gita, verses 1 to 22.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So yesterday, Prabhuji very beautifully explained lesson 83, which is a part of chapter 47. Chapter 47 covers 69 verses. Out of the 69 verses, yesterday we covered till 22 verses. So yesterday's class was divided into two parts. In the first part, when Uddhav comes to Vraja, and when the gopis realize that he is the messenger of Lord Krishna, they come to Krishna and they come to Uddhava and they pour their heart out to him, and in jealous anger they express their feelings to Uddhava. And the second part we see the Brahmara Geet, in which we see the Divya Unmada, the divine madness of Radharani, and the 10 types of Chitra Jalpa. So let us revise this today quickly. Go to the next slide. Hare Krishna. So my first question is, why are the gopis taken aback on seeing Uddhava? Hare Krishna. Anybody would want to answer? Radha Vinod
Yeah,
Prabhuji?
because
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, because Uddhava, just like Krishna, he had worn a vibrant yellow garment and then that striking earrings. So they were taken aback by his resemblance to Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Because of his striking resemblance, the gopis were taken aback. My second question is, what did the...
Just 1 second, his bodily hue is exactly same as Krishna. If you see Krishna and Uddhava from a distance, you cannot make out who is who. And that's why they got a little confused. But there were signs which they later discovered.
Yes,
Carry on, Mataji.
yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. So what did the gopis do on knowing that he has come as a messenger of Lord Krishna?
Upon understanding that it was Krishna who had sent him, and they led him to a secluded spot because they wanted to converse with him privately.
Yes, they led him to a secluded spot. Thank you, Mataji. Then what do the gopis demonstrate in their interactions with Uddhava, which is covered in these 5 verses?
Remarkable humility, Mataji, and interaction with other.
Yeah, remarkable humility and bashfulness. So yesterday Prabhuji explained the meaning of bashfulness is their hesitation, their timidness, their shyness, which along with their remarkable humility, they demonstrate. Then what does the respectful demeanor of the gopis showcase? It is written.
Their characters
Showcase.
and the humility of the gopis, cultural
Yeah.
values.
Correct. Thank you, Mataji. It showcases their characters and the cultural values of humility that govern human relationships. Thank you, Mataji. So let's proceed to the next slide. Slide 3. How are Lord Krishna and Uddhava alike, and what is the only difference between them?
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Mataji.
so
The may I carry on?
yes, Mataji.
ओके माताजी कृष्णा और उद्धव में मतलब बॉडीली कोई डिफरेंस नहीं, पर दोनों एक ही सेम जैसे दिखते हैं। मगर एक ही डिफरेंस है कि वो कृष्णा जो है वो पिकॉक का क्राउन पहनते हैं, जो उद्धव जी नहीं पहनते हैं।
Correct. Thank you, Mataji. They look remarkably alike, and anybody can get confused. But the only difference is Lord Krishna wears a peacock crown. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we proceed to slide 4. What was the gopis' opinion of friendship? What was the gopis' opinion about friendship? Anyone who has not answered? Radha Vinod Prabhuji, are you there? Would you like to?
Yeah. Okay. So, it's their motivation basically the genuine emotional depth, how they interacted with the Lord. That is what is indicated.
The gopis are, according to gopis, some friendships are very selfish. They
Yeah.
have selfish motives and they lack genuine emotional depth, according to them. And they have mentioned, Prabhuji has mentioned in detail that this illustrates the superficial nature of some certain friendships, and that it also dwells into the male and the complexities of male and female relationship, like how some men, they just abandon the flowers. uh, they abandon the women like a bee abandon the flowers, and they give analogy that how easily relationship can be. They give many analogies that show that how easily relationship can be just forgotten and discarded once the motive is fulfilled, and that true connections are both rare and often superficial. This is what is their opinion about friendship. That they say certain friendships are they have an agenda. They are motive based. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Let's
The gopis
the
are
other.
comparing man with Krishna with the bees.
Yes, correct. And how
माताजी
the
in present world only conditioned love, no
yes,
unconditioned love.
correct. In a sense. Thank you, Raksha Mataji and Rajkumari Mataji. My next question is explain Tyakta Laukikaha, that is putting aside worldly affairs. Can anybody explain Tyakta Laukikaha, this particular term,
Hare
which means
Krishna.
putting? Yes, Mataji.
They articulated their deep love for Krishna. They used to celebrate his childhood and youth, and gopis used to become completely engulfed in devotion and discarding all these worldly things. And as they do openly way before Krishna's messenger Uddhava. So this phrase of his childhood and youth, Kaishor Balya, it emphasizes the
Yes, that is
unwavering.
the next part, Mataji. Till here you were correct. Tatya Laukikya means to how it shows how gopis have come above the social conventions,
They are putting aside
conventions
worldly affairs. Yeah.
because of their deep love for Krishna. And that's the reason when Uddhav came, they were weeping openly in front of him without caring about the worldly concerns. Thank you, Mataji. Netrasaki Mataji, Hare Krishna. So as you are going ahead, if you can give the other question, other answer also. What does the phrase Kaishorya Balyayo mean? Emphasize. You were just talking here, this one. This phrase, Kaishorya Balyayo. What does this emphasize? Nityasakhi Mataji, would you like to continue?
So yeah, it just emphasizes the unwavering and unconditional nature of Gopi's love for Krishna, and which has endured since that earliest days.
Yeah.
So it is very
Kaishora
good.
and Kaishora and Balayo means childhood and youth.
Childhood and youth.
Yeah.
So gopis have endured their love for Krishna since since childhood and youth. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So let's go to the next slide. So this is a important slide wherein the understanding of the 10 types of Chitrajalpa of Radharani's Divya Unmad has been mentioned clearly. We will quickly go through it, all these 10 types. The first one is Prajalpa. Anybody would like to just highlight some important uh, points of Prajalpa, and we'll very quickly we'll go through it.
See, the lover is consumed by spite and passion, and he hurls sharp insults at the beloved, channeling her tumultuous emotion.
Yeah.
That means deep love, but then chastisement and sharp words are there.
Yes. Out of spite and passion, they are hurling out insults. Yes, thank you,
See,
Prabhuji.
another thing,
Parijalpa?
Mataji, this thing, notice that Sri Radha is in a Vamya Bhav. You know what is Vamya Bhav? Anybody answer?
Leftist.
Yes, leftist
Man.
support. Yeah,
Man
Man,
Bhav.
that's right. Yeah. And what is the opposite of that? Which other parts? Opposite of Vamya Paksha is what? And can you give one example of that?
Submissive. Chandravali.
Yeah. What is the Sanskrit name?
Dakshin Sabha.
Yeah,
Dakshin
correct.
Sabha.
And
Dakshina.
yes, and the example that you gave just now, right?
Chandravali.
Chandravali, correct. And the queens, can you tell the difference? Queens also.
Rukmani Mata and Satyabhama Mata. Satyabhama Mata is Vam Bhav and Rukmani Mata is Dakshin Bhav.
Correct. Go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. And then Parijalpa. How is
Shows that
Parijalpa?
it contains that her beloved, the master of her heart, is very heartless and very capricious and twisted.
Yeah.
And
yeah, she complains. In Parijalpa means complaining that beloved is stone-hearted and not a straight person, but twisted person and capricious. Thank you, Harsha Mataji. Vijalpa. Vijalpa is when the heart is inside the heart, you are cherishing Lord Krishna, and outside you are giving scornful glances and you're giving bad words or uttering bitter words. That is Vijalpa. Ujjalpa.
Fit of anger and pride, the lover lashes out at Krishna, branding him a rogue and scoundrel.
Yeah.
That's giving real hard words.
Yeah, calling him rogue or scoundrel, that means dushta and cruel. Yes. And Sanjalpa?
With the sharp tongue, the lover ridicules. Sorry, what? Okay, I'll finish this. Krishna accusing him of ingratitude in clever, sarcastic manner.
What is ingratitude? What is ingratitude?
Ungratefulness.
Thankless. Yeah, ungrateful.
Yes.
Thankless.
Ungratefulness.
They are accusing that Krishna is
So
ungrateful.
much they are loving him, so much sacrifices they are making. Krishna is not a bit reciprocal of that.
Yeah, and they do it in a very sarcastic manner in Sanjalpa. Avajalpa?
they are complaining that they are, how much risk they are taking of loving Krishna, but he is very cruel and lust-driven and treacherous to them.
Yes. Treacherous here means what could be the right word?
Betrayed.
मतलब ये राधा रानी कह रहे हैं हम एलिजिबल नहीं है उनके प्रेम को पाने के लिए ऐसा?
Yeah, correct. Treacherous means betraying. He betrays. Yes, correct. Thank you, ma'am. Then Abhijalpa. The gopi is complaining
He's
that
very
it is a foolishness to fall in love for Krishna because he is cruel and he is tormenting innocent creatures around him. That is Abhijalpa. Then Ajalpa. Yes, sorry, Harsha Mataji was saying. Ajalpa.
very
This
deceitful and wicked. Krishna is very deceitful and wicked, and then, but brings nothing but only sorrow. He gets only he gives only sorrow,
Yeah,
and
this is correct.
to turn our attention to him.
Yeah.
And he gives
Something.
the happiness to other
Mm,
Mathuravasi. That's
correct. They are saying that we should stop discussing about him and then we should put our attention to something more delightful rather than him. Correct. And this they are saying uh, out of khunnas mein, they are like very angry, jealous anger. Then ninth,
तिरस्कार करते ना एकदम
हाँ,
तिरस्कार पूर्वक.
correct.
See,
Then ninth
now
one,
tell me about Krishna's side. How he must be feeling.
thing, as they say, he
एग्जैक्टली
feels
कृष्णा भी
so
बहुत ही
nice.
पेन में है और सफरिंग में है प्रभु जी. जैसे
Krishna is,
गोपियां है
but
वैसे
actually
ही
Krishna is enjoying.
Enjoying.
yes,
He is not getting mad at all with them, because the beloved, when there's something negative also, but that reflects their true love and the depth of their love, and that's what Krishna can see that.
yeah,
कृष्ण की उस एब्सेंस में बहुत ज्यादा सफर कर रही हैं
तो
गोपियां
कहते हैं कि
और
बिल्कुल ठीक है. कहते हैं
और
कि
प्रभु जी
जो
बिटर स्वीटनेस.
या जो प्रेमिका होती है वो बोलती है, वो भी उनकी तीखास जो है वो भी बहुत मीठी मीठी लगती है ना.
ये सब ऑल दीज 10 फॉर्म्स ऑफ चित्र जल्पा भ्रमर
Yeah,
गीत में सारा ये shows all these
exactly,
types.
exactly.
yeah, yeah. And let us do the last one. Prati Jalpa is
Here
Prati
they
Jalpa,
say,
Radharani says that Krishna is engaged with other women,
correct.
and so
Yeah,
we should be away from him.
yeah. We should
Keep
keep
some
distance from
distance.
him. He is behaving like a highwayman.
Yeah.
Correct. And the last one, Sujalpa. Yes, Sanjay Prabhu, you would want to
oh
answer.
yeah, I was saying that with sincerity and restless heart, the lover earnestly poses a multitude of questions about Krishna, seeking to understand him deeply. This is Sujalpa, the last one.
Yeah. So finally, they have inside. They have a lot of sincerity. Finally, they show their sincerity, and then they are questioning about Krishna and seeking to understand him deeply. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. So with this, we see all the 10 types of Chitra Jalpa. We'll go ahead to the next part of yesterday's lesson, which shows the Divya Unmad or the divine madness of Srimati Radharani through Brahmara Gita. So this is slide 8. Question is, can anybody explain Divya Unmada that's manifesting in Radharani? In short, it will be in this part of the slide, the first part, divine light.
The mood of Radharani goes through these stages, and the final stage is Mahabhava. The initial stage are Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, Raga, Anuraga, Bhava, and Mahabhava. These are towards Krishna, and they are usually visible or manifest only in Radharani.
Yeah, Radharani alone is at this highest stage of Mahabhava, and that is the reason Divya Unmada is coming in her. And what is Divya Unmada? It is mentioned over here.
Divine madness.
Divine
It
madness.
conveys,
Basically,
yeah.
inside her heart, there is a whirlpool of emotions that happening, and due to that reason, she's experiencing jealousy, yearning, a lot of impulsive feelings. That is Divya Unmada. So inside there is a lot of, you know, lot of havoc going on. You know, a whirlwind is going on. So this shows
No,
that yes.
no, I was
Harsha.
just Mataji, one remark. It's just amazing. We are talking about this thing, and I kind of felt just like Shukdev Goswami felt something like that. Um, because I was working on, I've been redoing these now lessons in Dwarka Leela, Archita Mataji's lessons, about how Krishna is marrying all these different princesses, how he looks forward to go all this thing. Suddenly my heart started thinking, did he really actually forget all the gopis, Radha, love and everything? And now he's so, incredibly with great interest, he was looking for the princesses and so on like that. Sometimes you wonder actually, exactly the same. I could feel when Sukadeva Goswami once, when we went through that, Sukadeva Goswami also felt kind of little bit in favor of the gopis, how Krishna was mistreating them,
Yeah.
So, but that mistreat is actually a loving mistreat, That's a big difference.
That's the reason they say it is not easy to understand Krishna.
Yes,
We
exactly.
cannot, nobody can.
Prabhuji, it increased their longing also, na, for
But you
by
see, the way
teaching
he was
this.
looking, when you will see that class, when you come to that, the way so eagerness he was going through these different princesses and how, as if he totally forgot about the gopis actually, totally forgot about it. There I felt really kind of in because the gopis loved him so much, so much. Okay, go ahead, continue, Mataji.
Yeah. So basically, the essence of Divya Unmada is that it shows that how divine, that genuine devotion, it cannot be understood, it cannot be comprehended rationally. Uh, Nobody can understand the person who is going
Exactly, you're right, Mataji.
through Divya Unmada. And Chitra Jalpa, my next question is that what feelings are showcased in Brahmar Gita? This is in the second part of the. What feelings of Radharani are showcased in Brahmar Gita in the
They're
dialogue?
Showcasing, yeah.
So much emotions
Yes.
they are showing.
What type of emotions, Mataji?
Like pride, longing, and vulnerability.
Jealousy,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Jealous,
vulnerability,
longing for
pride.
prostrations.
Yeah. And there are diverse kind of emotions are depicted, and these emotions are they are of very wide spectrum, showing all types of feelings like frustration, jealousy, and then it
Longing, frustration.
captures, yeah, it shows the inherent the complexity of the divine relationships. Yes, so let us proceed to the next slide, which is slide 9. What is Radharani envisioning in her profound jealousy?
With the other woman in Mathura, she was very much jealous.
She was envisioning that Krishna is interacting with the
With
women of
the
Mathura.
woman of Mathura.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Then what questions is she posing in this jealousy?
Jealousy she is composing.
What is she questioning?
Attachment and
The
ownership in
attachment
love.
and
Yes, Harsha Mataji. Correct,
I'm
proceed.
questioning about attachment and ownership in love, and philosophical inquiries on and its paradoxes. And true devotion requires significant degree of self-surrendering and amidst such deep affection.
Yeah, she's questioning integrity of the relationship. Thank you, Mataji. And what is Radharani grieving about? What does it illustrate? It is in the fourth point.
Grieving about Krishna, depicting him as a deceiver, indignation over his perceived neglection.
Correct. That he has neglected us.
Neglecting
Correct.
them.
Yes. And what does it illustrate? What does this grieving illustrate? It shows the profound relationship of devotee and divine. It shows the depth of the relationship between devotee and divine. And then it also shows that there is a necessity of sincerity and utmost honesty in spiritual connections. So, and also shows that even when you are criticizing somebody, that enriches the devotion. So let us go to the next slide, slide 10. What does Radharani's critic means alochana karna. So what does Radharani's critic showcase? What does it show?
It unveils, means it opens the complexities of devotion and understanding the love as a vibrant force, enhancing them, and that embraces praise and reproach to acceptance and rejections, and thereby deepening the spiritual journey.
Correct. Thank you, Mataji. So, let us go to this last slide, 11. What aspect of bhakti is in this? This is the Brahma Gita is a sacred song. What aspect of bhakti is being highlighted in Brahma Gita as per Bhagavatam by Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya? Very important point over here. Anybody would like to explain? Rajiv Prabhu, would you like to try?
Sorry, Mataji. I missed
Anyone
it.
else? Yeah, whatever, whoever is comfortable.
Yes, Mataji. This passage captures the spiritual and emotional dimension of devotion in the Bhagavatam.
Yeah, correct. And Nityasaki Mataji, you wanted to say something. Nityasaki Mataji.
Yeah, that the love for this divine often emerges through the human emotions.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that the divine can be reached by developing a personal relationship and an emotional engagement. And true devotion can transcend just worship. It is a profound relational experience. And let
This
us
is the
conclude.
transformation of heart, Mataji.
Correct.
Complete
Yes.
transformation of heart.
Heart.
Through
Yes.
Bhagavatam. Right?
Yeah. Transformation of heart is shown, is mentioned in Bhagavatam as per the Acharyas. And so let us conclude this. What are the concluding themes of Brahma Gita? The 8th point.
It illuminates how love can be a source of immense joy and a profound anger, and deeper reflection on the essence of devotion and the intricacy of the relationships and the transformative power of love throughout one's spiritual journey.
Yeah, very good. Very nice, Mataji. In essence, it shows that if love is a source of immense joy, at the same time, it is a source of profound anguish also. So it has both dualities. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam. I'll stop over.
Thank you.
No, I must congratulate really all of you have become real experts now, The one who moderates the recapping and rest of you answers. I'm really very impressed, and you gave me a lot of
Prabhuji,
pleasure.
we are
now.
also enjoying, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
We are also
I'm
relishing.
And,
Yes.
and the instructors. Sarath Prabhuji, of course, is already an expert, but rest of you also, you're doing a really good job, really good job. Now I feel so happy. I can easily, very pleasantly leave this, and I know it's in good hands now, I'm ready to leave now anywhere, anytime. Go ahead, Sarath Prabhuji, go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. So nicely summed up. And now, yesterday we learned verses 1 to 22. And today we'll be visiting verses 23 to 69. But before that, in the Kirtan, Archana Mataji is saying one very famous Brajvasi poem, that is Uddhava Manana Bhaya Dasabis. The gopis are telling Uddhava that we do not have 10 or 20 minds. we cannot give one to Krishna and one to in personal form like this. Now, here I want to say just one thing. What basically they are saying, these two things cannot go together. That is, love, so-called love in this material world, samsara, and love of Godhead. You have to do one of these things. This renunciation of the material world and the relationships and love of Godhead cannot go together. In the material world, our conduct or vyavahar, that is what is important. People they recognize that, not your love or anything else. And if there is any deviation in that deficit, if it is they find any deficit, then they do not like it. So they are saying we have got one mind, we have to use it in one place only, and we are using it for Shyam Sundar. We cannot do anything else. That's what they said. Now, what happened here? In spite of enjoying all the comforts of Mathura kingdom, Krishna missed Yasoda, the gopis, the cows, the Gokula, and Uddhava, who was a dear friend and counselor of Krishna, came to see him and he sensed his grief. And Uddhava one day he expressed his dissatisfaction to Krishna that in spite of studying the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Shastras, he was not acknowledged as a Maharishi. Then Krishna, he sensed the ego and pride in Uddhava. Then Krishna then requested Uddhava to visit Vrindavan with a message on his behalf to the gopis who were missing him. And Krishna asked Uddhava to tell the people of Vrindavan to forget him, because only then when they forget him, they could complete his duties on this earth. And Uddhava felt proud as Krishna considered him so knowledgeable, so he happily went to Vrindavan. Now the gopis, they received him gladly, and when they heard he had a message from their beloved Krishna, they gathered around her. This is what we learned yesterday. Uddhava began to teach the gopis his Vedantic wisdom. He said, "Oh gopis, you are so attached to Krishna. Why do you not focus on his divine nature, on the Godhead? You need to study the scriptures, the Vedas, the Upanishads to understand the nature of Krishna. If there is no point in pursuit of knowledge, then what is the meaning of life?" This is what he wanted to convey. Then the gopis said, when Akrura came to Vrindavan, he took Krishna with him, and now you want to take away all his memories also from us. And Uddhava, he could not reply to this. He was totally speechless. And the gopis told him simply that Krishna had taken over their mind, body, soul, and their entire lives revolved around him. And they felt his presence everywhere in Vrindavan and all the times, 24 hours in a day. And the feelings aroused by his message to forget Krishna, when heard by the residents of Vrindavan, it constitutes the highest understanding of love of Godhead in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. Now the gopis, they listened to Uddhava, and a gopi said, "Oh Uddhava, Shyama, that is Krishna, he dwells in my mind. My whole wealth is Shyama. All that I have is Shyama, and every cell of my body is filled with Shyama. If Shyama has taken over every inch of my body, tell me, O learned Uddhava, where shall I put your knowledge?" Now the gopis also said to Uddhava, "Oh Uddhava, we don't have 10 or 20 hearts. We have just one heart which also has gone away along with Krishna. So who will worship your Supreme Lord now?" Now this dialogue between Uddhava and the gopis has been narrated by the great poet Suradas in his Brahmar Geet. And what you heard today, that is part of that. And Suradas was the 16th century blind poet, and his lyrics in Brajavasi, that is very, very famous. Uddhava had never seen such expressions of unconditional love and concern for the Supreme Lord by his devotees. Uddhava realized that gopis saw Krishna in everything and everywhere. Although they were simple and uneducated, yet they understood the Almighty, that Almighty Lord is omnipresent and omniscient, while he had wasted so many years entangled in Vedic principles but could not experience the Almighty. His entire pride of wisdom vanished. And this was the main reason why Krishna had sent him to Braja to learn this love of Godhead. And he had gone to give the gopis the instruction of Brahma Jnana. Instead, he took the foot dust of the gopis, which is symbolic of receiving Krishna prema from the gopis, and returned home totally humbled. And on his way back, he perceived a totally new world at the same place, an eternal, peaceful world where everything seemed beautiful. Uddhava sensed a big change within him. He sang to himself. He offered a lift to a sick man. He appreciated the sunset in the western sky. He went back to Krishna and asked, "Oh my Lord, why did you send me to teach the gopis? You know all along how they feel and how they relate to you. No one can teach them. They not only know about your being, but they are filled with you only." Then Krishna replied to Uddhava, "That is what was missing in your knowledge. Love is important as knowledge. Bhakti or devotion is part of God Himself. So there is no separate need for salvation." And according to Vaishnava theology, the stories concerning the gopis are said to exemplify Suddha Bhakti, which is described as the highest form of unconditional love of Godhead. In Vrindavana, King Vajranava, Krishna's great grandson, built the Uddhava Kunda under the guidance of Sandilya Muni and the other sages. And even today, there is a small temple dedicated to Uddhava. And this place is of great spiritual significance because it is said that Uddhava always resides here, praying to the Lord Supreme Lord Krishna. He was so overwhelmed by seeing the devotion and love of the gopis for Krishna that he wanted to remain in the forest of Vrindavana as a creeper, gulmalata or grass, and smear the dust of the gopis' feet on his head. This is what he wanted. Let us see ahead what happens from verses 23 to 47. Then we'll discuss what is given in this slide. Thereafter, Uddhava, he told the gopis what was the conversation between Uddhava and the gopis. Uddhava tells the gopis, certainly you gopis are all successful and you are all worshipped everywhere in the world because you have totally dedicated your minds in this way to the supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, and devotional service unto the Lord is attained by charity, by strict vows, by austerities, fire sacrifices, and by japa, by study of the Vedic texts, by observance of regulative principles, and by performance of many other auspicious practices. And to this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains the processes described by Uddhava, like dana, that means donation given to Lord Vishnu and his devotees, not to anybody else. Vrata means observing vows such as Ekadasi, like this. And tapa means renunciation of sense gratification for Krishna's sake. And Homa means fire sacrifices dedicated to Vishnu. Vishnu means Krishna, there is no difference. And Japa means privately chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. And Swadhyaya means study and recitation of the Vedic texts such as the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, like this. That means one should do all these things. And then Uddhava, then thereafter he tries to tell the gopis, by your great fortune you have established an great unexcelled standard of pure devotion to the Supreme Lord, a standard which even the sages cannot attain. You have gone up to that level. And he said that by your great fortune you have left your husbands, your family, your sons, your in-laws, your bodily comforts, your relatives, and your homes in favor of the Supreme Lord who is known as Krishna. And on this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he tries to explain that the gopis gave up their sense of possessiveness towards these objects. History shows that the gopis remained in Vrindavan, living in their houses with their families. However, unlike ordinary persons, they entirely renounced the ego or sense of possession of sons, husbands, and so on. They never tried to enjoy them, but rather gave their whole heart and mind to the Supreme Lord, as recommended in the great religious scriptures of the world. And following the example of the gopis, we should love the Supreme Lord with all our heart, soul, and might. We may be involved in this material world in our family life, but we should not be too much attached to them. We should have more attachment to Krishna, to the Supreme Lord, than to the other worldly things. This is what is the learning. And thereafter, Uddhava trying to tell, you have rightfully claimed the privilege of unalloyed love for the Supreme Lord. Indeed, by exhibiting your love for Krishna in separation from him, you have shown me great mercy. And the gopis showed not only Uddhava, but the whole world the joy of love of Godhead. And thus they bestowed their mercy on him. And according to Jiva Goswami, because their loving devotion was executed in an appropriate way, their love brought the Supreme Lord under their control, total control. Still, to show the intensity of their love, he apparently left them. But now he again manifested himself among them, becoming spiritually present through their intense devotion. And Uddhava also tells the gopis that now please hear your beloved Lord's message, which I, the confidential servant of my master, have brought it from Mathura. The Supreme Lord has said that you are never actually separated from him in any way, because he says, I am the soul of all creation, just as the elements of nature, the ether, air, fire, water, and earth are present in every created being. So I am present within everyone's mind, life, air, senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature. And according to Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, the apparently philosophical language which was used by Uddhava regarding the Lord's statement, it conceals a deeper meaning. Now the Supreme Lord was secretly telling the gopis that he, by way of reciprocating their special love for him, was present with them, and not only as the soul of all creation, but also as their special lover. And in this sense of the verse, there are various words used, like guna is used. It means the gopis special divine qualities which attracted Krishna toward them. And in other words, although in one sense Krishna was absent, he could never be completely absent, since in his spiritual form he is always in the hearts and minds of the gopis. And that means he never left them. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada, he explained this thing also. He said that the reason Lord Krishna separated himself from the gopis was to intensify their love for him. And as Uddhava noted, to bless other devotees by revealing to them the intensity of the gopis' love toward Krishna. All these the Leela they are taking place. In fact, the Lord was spiritually present with the gopis since they are his eternal associates. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further he points out that foolish persons will conclude that Krishna's use of philosophical language means that the Lord was trying to bring the gopis to the point of liberation by explaining basic points of Krishna conscious philosophy. But in truth, the gopis are the most exalted, liberated souls, and their pastimes with Krishna must be understood with the help of the commentaries of our previous acharyas. When the gopis came to the rasa dance, Krishna tried to preach karma yoga to them, emphasizing ordinary ethics and morality that we have seen in the Gopi Gita and before Gopi Gita. But the gopis were beyond that. Similarly, Lord Krishna now offers them Jnana Yoga or metaphysical philosophy, but this is also inadequate for the gopis who have achieved spontaneous, unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Lord Krishna. And this is very, very important. What Uddhava was trying to say that all scriptures proclaim that the Krishna is subservient to pure love, and Krishna is saying, "I am not independent in the matter of love," and all these things he said. Then he also conveyed the message of Krishna. That Krishna is saying, by myself I create, sustain, and withdraw myself within myself by the power of my personal energy, which comprises the material elements like this. Although the Lord is the supreme entity, there is no absolute duality between him and his creation. Since the creation is an extension of his being, the oneness is here emphasized by the Lord as given by Uddhava. And by this being composed of pure consciousness or knowledge, the soul is distinct from everything material and is uninvolved in the entanglements of the modes of material nature. We can perceive the soul through the three functions of the material nature known as wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep. And thereafter, Uddhava is trying to convey that as a person just arisen from deep sleep may continue to meditate on a dream even though it is illusory. So by the agency of the mind, one meditates on the sense objects which the senses can then obtain. And therefore, one should become fully alert and bring the mind under control. Uddhava is telling the gopis, and he is also telling that according to intelligent authorities, this is the ultimate conclusion of all the Vedas as well as of the practice of the yoga, Sankhya, renunciation, austerity, sense control, like this. Just as the sea is the ultimate destination of all the rivers. And here the Lord is, the Lord states that all Vedic literature is meant and ultimately to bring the soul to the point of controlling the mind and senses and fixing them in transcendental self-realization. Thus, the process so-called yoga or mysticism or religion that involve unrestricted sense gratification are not actually spiritual processes, but rather convenient ways to foolish people. And then he says, by the actual reason why the Lord Krishna is saying, Krishna's message which is being conveyed to the gopis by Uddhava, he is saying that I, the beloved object of the gopis, have stayed away from them because I wanted to intensify their meditation upon me and thus draw their minds closer to me, and that is Lord Krishna. And he also says that when once a lover is far away, a woman thinks of him more than when he is present before her. And this is what Krishna trying to create the scene. And because the minds of the gopis are totally absorbed in Krishna and free from all other engagements, they remember Krishna always. And Krishna is saying, although some gopis had to remain in the covered village and so could not join the rasa dance to sport with me at night in the forest, they were nonetheless fortunate. Indeed, they attained me by thinking of my potent pastimes. This we saw in great detail in the Rasa Leela chapter. And then by here, Sukadeva Goswami, while describing all these conversation between Uddhava and the gopis, he is trying to say that the women of Braja, that is the gopis, were pleased to hear all this message from their dearmost Krishna. And the gopis said that it is very good that Kamsa, the enemy of the Yadus, has now been killed, and along with him, his supporters also have been killed. And it is also very good that Krishna is living happily in the company of his well-wishing friends and relatives, where every desire is now fulfilled. Thereafter, what happens? Now, he is trying to say the gopis were so completely in love with Krishna that without selfish motive, even in their great disappointment, they could never be considered giving up their love for Krishna. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur interprets the feelings like this. He says the gopis might say, surely Krishna has abandoned us because we deserve to be abandoned. Indeed, we are the most insignificant women in the world and have been rejected after having been enjoyed by him. Still, do we sometimes enter into the memory on account of some good quality of ours? Like this, they were thinking. And they also thought that does he recall these nights in the Vrindavan forest, the lovely lotus, jasmine, and the bright moonlight? Now, on this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he tries to say, he gives the realization that the gopis knew that no place could be as beautiful as Vrindavan. Nowhere else in the universe could one find such charming scene as Vrindavan forest, which was scented with flowers and illuminated by the full moon's light, reflected from the serene waves of the sacred Yamuna river. And the gopis, they are saying, but why should Krishna come here after winning a kingdom, killing his enemies and marrying the daughters of kings? He is satisfied there, surrounded by all his friends and well-wishers. Krishna is the Lord of Goddess of Fortune, and he automatically achieves whatever he desires. How can we, the forest dwellers, the village girls, or any other women fulfill his purpose when he already fulfilled his own desires? Indeed, the greatest happiness is to renounce all desires, as even the prostitute Pingala has declared. This we will study in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yet, even though we know this, we cannot give up our hopes of attaining Krishna. Now, with this background, let us go through the slide. The Uddhava praises the gopis and relates Krishna's message to them. The unique devotion of the gopis, please remember that the gopis, they are most unique, and they are headed by Srimati Radharani, and their love cannot be equaled by anybody in this world, anywhere in the creation of the Supreme Lord. Uddhava explicitly highlights the gopis' unmatched devotion, and this is what? Bhakti to Krishna, which surpasses all other forms of worship and exemplifies pure love. And this is Mahabhava. And we have seen the various components of that yesterday and revised today also. The gopis embody selfless love driven solely by the desire to please Krishna. They had no other ambition, no other aim. They were not taking care of their own bodies also. They wanted to please Krishna anyhow. And their devotion serves as the definitive model for all devotees. We should learn from the gopis of Vrindavana, demonstrating that genuine love for Krishna transcends ritualistic practices and is firmly rooted in a profound emotional connection. If we are connected with the Supreme Lord genuinely from our heart, then our emotions will also be connected with Krishna. And regarding Mahabhava, among the gopis, only Sri Radha embodies Mahabhava, the ultimate emotional state of love for Krishna that clearly distinguishes them from all other devotees, including divine figures like Mahalakshmi. Mahabhava represents the pinnacle of ecstatic love that is uniquely characteristics of Sri Radha. It is only Radharani who has gone to that level. All others are little behind. And according to Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, this state is the ultimate goal of devotion, highlighting the intense emotional depth and longing that defines the relationship between the devotee and the divine. True love for Krishna requires experiencing the profound feelings of separation and yearning. And this is what was going on in the minds of the gopis. And this has been seen in the dialogue between Uddhava and the gopis. Let us go to the next slide. Now, separation and intimacy. Uddhava firmly conveys that Krishna, as the super soul, is perpetually present with the gopis. Uddhava, what we learned, Krishna is saying that I am always present with the gopis. Sometimes they can see me, sometimes they cannot see me. But whether they are able to see me or not, I am with them all the time. And despite their physical separation, reinforcing the eternal connection that exists between them, since there is eternal connection between the devotee and the Lord, both are, that is the gopis and Krishna, they are totally connected, even when they are separated from him by distance also. And this separation or vipralambha is the fundamental aspect of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, illustrating that true love is often defined by longing and desire. The longing and desire what the gopis had, that cannot be matched by anybody else. That's why it is said that they are the greatest devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And Uddhava's message unequivocally asserts that even though the gopis are physically apart from Krishna, their meditation on his personal form, the Saraswati meditation, remains unbroken. That means 24 hours in a day they were remembering, meditating on Krishna, and they were seeing him all the time. And this teaches devotees that separation enhances one's love and devotion, fostering a deeper relationship with the divine. That means you would have seen the example of so many great devotees. They love being separated from Krishna. They do not say, I want to go to Golak Vrindavana and worship the Supreme Lord in front of me with all my energy. They want to worship him in separation. And that is what is the greatest love, greatest bhakti, greatest devotion to the Supreme Lord. And power of love over knowledge. Uddhava was trying to give the knowledge which is given in the Vedas, which was useless for the gopis. Gopis, they never studied in any Gurukula, they did not have any such knowledge, but their knowledge of love of Godhead was much higher than Uddhava's, even though Uddhava was a student of Brihaspati. Now, Krishna's message unequivocally reveals that the gopis' intense love for him far exceeds philosophical knowledge, demonstrating that love is the supreme path to union with the divine. Uddhava, he was not aware of this aspect when he associated with the gopis, and he learned so many things from their conversation. That time he realized that this love of Godhead, longing for the Supreme Lord, this is the highest path, this is the greatest divine love. And this point precisely underscores the Gaudiya Vaishnava belief that the love, that is prema, reigns supreme over intellectual understanding, jnana. That means those who follow the jnana marga, that is not the highest. The highest is the bhakti marga or the prema, that is the love for Godhead. That is what is the best. While philosophical knowledge may offer insights into the nature of the divine, it is the emotional connection and love that ultimately leads to liberation and union with Krishna. What is being said here, like the Jnanis, they do not use their emotion. They do not have any emotion rather for the Supreme Lord. But once emotion is used in service of the Supreme Lord through bhakti, through prema, that is unconditional love for the Godhead, that is what is the ultimate thing, and we should aim for that. It is the emotional connection and love that is ultimately leads to liberation and union with Krishna. Krishna, one cannot get through jnana. Ultimately, one has to come to the bhakti path, and that is loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead and loving unconditionally. And this clearly illustrates that the love is the most powerful force in spiritual journey and nothing else. Let us go to the next slide. Now, mind control. Krishna emphasizes that mastering the mind is essential for transcending material existence and realizing the true nature of one's relationship with him. The control of the mind, about mind, we have also learned in the Bhagavad Gita. But the critical importance of the mind control aligns with the teaching of Bhakti Yoga, where mastery over one's thoughts and desires is paramount for spiritual progress. One should have mastery over his thoughts. In Gaudiya Vaishnavism, a mind that remains uncontrolled invites destruction and suffering, while disciplined focus allows one to concentrate on Krishna and deepen the relationship with him. That means we should have control over the mind. What does it mean? It does not mean that we should withdraw ourselves from everything in the material world. No, it is not that. But use our senses for what is for Krishna. We should use our eyes for Krishna. We should use our hands, our ears, our tongue, everything for Krishna and what satisfies Krishna. And we should not use them where we should not be using them. And in response to jealousy, the gopis unambiguously express their jealousy over Krishna's interactions with women of Mathura. But this is, remember, this is spiritual jealousy. This is not a material jealousy as we understand in the material world. Now, when they described that Krishna is associating with the women of Mathura, apparently they were being jealous of the women of Mathura, showcasing the intense emotional pain of separation and their longing for his exclusive affection. The jealousy powerfully illustrates the depth of their attachment to Krishna. It highlights the gopis' attachment to Krishna. That's why they were taking the name of the women of Mathura, highlighting that such emotions are natural and valid expressions of love. Why this jealousy was coming in them? It is because of their, it is an expression of their love. Because they loved Krishna so much, they thought about it. And in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, this dynamics exemplifies the intimate relationship between the divine and his devotees, where feelings of possessiveness and longing are fundamental part of devotional experience. When somebody says he is loving the Lord, that means he should be very possessive of the Supreme Lord, possessive of the deity form of the Lord, and should have a longing to be with the Supreme Lord even in his deity form. Devotional service emphasizing that the personal nature of God, personal nature of the God will be understood this way. And the next, rejection of abstract knowledge. Now the gopis categorically dismiss Uddhava's philosophical insights as irrelevant. Whatever examples he gave, whatever knowledge he wanted to give from the Upanishads and the Vedas, they were totally rejected by the gopis, choosing instead to embrace the tangible experience of love and devotion shared with Krishna. Now, please remember, if somebody develops love of Godhead, love, unconditional love to the Supreme Lord, then all other knowledge which are given in the four Vedas and in the six Angas of the Vedic Shastras, they are available to the devotee. That means because the gopis, they were loving Krishna so much, they had full knowledge of the Vedas, Vedic literature, and they had understood it. Still, they rejected all these things, and their rejection of theoretical knowledge underscores the Gaudiya Vaishnava belief that direct experience of love and dedication are definitely more valuable than abstract philosophies. Abstract and dry philosophies, they are of no use to a devotee. He wants to experience the love of the Godhead, and the gopis, they were experiencing it in person, one to one, and this firmly establishes that personal relationships with the divine, characterized by emotions and attachment, constitutes the essence of spiritual life and clearly surpass mere intellectual pursuits. That means intellectual pursuits, the theoretical knowledge and the dry knowledge, that has no place in front of love of Godhead and hope in separation. Even though the gopis, they were separated from Krishna, they had great hope that Krishna will come, at least come once, so that they will be able to unite with him. And despite their suffering, the gopis firmly uphold their hope for Krishna's return, signifying their unwavering attachment and faith in his love. Because the gopis had great faith in their love for Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna had recognized that, and their steadfast hope exemplified the resilience of love in the face of despair. In Gaudiya Vaishnavism, hope and longing serve as powerful motivators on the spiritual path, driving devotees to maintain faith and devotion even during tumultuous times. That means we have to have hope that one day Krishna will get satisfied, we'll be able to see Krishna in person, and we should have that longing within us, so that these motivators within us will drive us to maintain faith in the Lord, and our devotion will increase day by day. And at some point of time, maybe in some other lifetime or maybe in this lifetime, will be successful in satisfying the Supreme Lord. And we should copy the gopis in this. And this highlights the belief that love for Krishna is not fulfilling but deeply transformative. It is not that one wants to fulfill the desire, but one should have a hope for fulfilling the desire, and the Lord will someday fulfill our desires. Now, with this, let us have a 3 minutes break. And during the break, if somebody has any questions or comments, we'll discuss that also. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Go ahead, Mother. Go ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Prabhuji, I had heard in one of the ISKCON lectures that Uddhava only is Surdas. Is it true, Prabhuji?
Uddhava?
Uddhava is Surdas.
Uddhava Surdas, yes, that is true.
Okay. And how you mentioned that uh, when you have love for Lord, then automatically one gains all the Vedic knowledge and everything. That is also said for Namjap also, no, Prabhuji. One who is doing dedicated to chanting, he also automatically gets all the knowledge. Is that true, Prabhuji?
But that is at a particular stage. It comes at the highest stage. Not that we all are chanting 60 rounds, 20 rounds, 30 rounds, and we will have, we will understand the complete the Vedic knowledge. Not that. When one comes to that level, then one need not be taught the Vedic literature, the four Vedas. All the knowledge will come to him automatically, because there are so many examples here in this material world, in this Kali Yuga. Those people who have never gone to any Gurukula, not to any school or college, not studied anything, they knew everything what is given in the Vedas. This is possible for the highest level devotees. That means if one reaches that level, then the all knowledge, jnana will come automatically. That will be free of cost.
Yeah,
That
true.
Not too long ago, we learned that, right? What we need is grace of Krishna,
Yeah.
and the grace it's not that what we then can be demanded. It's how Krishna becomes pleased with our services. Then when grace comes, everything that what we need will come automatically. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam buddhi
Bhajatam
purvakam dadami buddhi yogam
Buddhi
tam yena
Yugam.
mamupayanti te, by which you can come to me. Everything what we need to go to him will be provided by him. So grace is the one. And grace actually is a cooperative phenomena. If some devotee, high class devotee, can pleased with you, it is much faster. So that's why sadhu sangha, serving with them, that's how you want that. We learn from Bhagavatam, right? The first canto, the story of Narad Muni, how
Yeah.
he won the grace of the devotees, actually the great sadhus who are visiting him. His mother was serving them, and he helped his mother, and how he got the grace from those, and that's how he got the Krishna's mercy also. So that is what's really needed actually.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
So
Thank
And
when the
Shri,
Lord
Shri
is
Radha is Shri Radha is the biggest, the grandest devotee of the Lord. That's why Prabhupada said, we serve Krishna through Shri Radha. Radharani's mercy and grace is required. And Krishna and Brahma Vaivata Purana shows the same thing, that I can be reached through my Radha.
how we came on this path, because the Lord was very happy with us. He gave us the opportunity of sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is the beginning. That's how the whole process started. Then Guru, the bhajan kriya like this, all the
Yeah.
things. That means if we follow the path as enunciated by our acharyas, then Krishna, on the other hand, invisibly, he is ready to help us. And when one reaches at the highest level, he has all the knowledge. There is no knowledge, he doesn't have to study anything. He doesn't have to go to a Gurukula or to a Acharya to study. He will have all that. That all depends of our sincerity, of our longing, and then it will come automatically. Our only aim should be to satisfy Krishna. If he is satisfied, then everything will be all right.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's so wonderful. Prabhuji, I have a request, like how you explain Brahmar Gita and Venu Gita and Gopi Gita so nicely. Surdas ji has also his work is there, Krishna Karnamrita. Can we also do that if whenever in future? Because it is it is given lot of it is very valuable, they say. So yes.
You are very right, Krishna Karnamrita, but I didn't find any commentary on that. That's why it will be very difficult to explain. But Charu Prabhuji will request him sometime if it is possible when he gets time. We can go through it. That is also a great literature and
Is there a
very
book? Is there a book for
nice
that?
book. Yes, yes.
You can send me the if you have that book or some e-copy or something. Maybe we can study
Prabhuji,
and then.
I'll send you, Prabhuji. I have a PDF
Okay,
of, I'll send
Yes,
you.
let me
yes, the
study
PDF
it.
versions are also there.
Yeah,
Let me
verses,
study
verses.
it.
Yeah.
Let me study it, and then we'll try that.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, but I didn't get any commentary on that, commentary of the Acharya. That's why I felt
Yeah.
it a little difficult.
Let me
Thank you.
read it and see.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. And
Sure,
if
Prabhuji.
Hare
Done.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes,
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you told just now, hope is the key word. Hope रखनी पड़ेगी बस.
Yes, we should never be
Even
hopeful.
in the material world, we need hope. Otherwise, all mental issues will come. If hope
Just
is
last
not there.
we learned just a class just couple of days ago, right? Just yesterday or maybe
Yes.
the previous week, that gopis, even in their separation, they never lost hope that Krishna will come.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Sri Prabhuji just keeps saying that 100 years. It's not 100 years. He came and he returned and he stayed for a few months. He did come there, which many years before even 100 years.
Then-
After killing Dantavakra, he returned there. He crossed the river and he came there.
Yes,
Not
Prabhuji,
only, yeah,
there are many explanations of this also. Then they again
Yeah.
made him in Kurukshetra also.
yeah, Kurukshetra is there, but this trip was special, separated from Kurukshetra.
Yes,
Kurukshetra, everybody went there. Whole Dwarka group, along with the queens. We are going to do that lesson on that.
yes, and Dantapakra,
Yeah.
that came actually later. These are not given
Yeah.
in sequence in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, no, not in Srimad Bhagavatam. No, it
Yes.
is. We learned it in that the other course. We did that, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, if no questions, then we'll proceed.
प्रभुजी 1 मिनट. प्रभुजी एक श्वेताश्वर उपनिषद में एक श्लोक है, यस्य देवे परा भक्ति यथा देव तथा गुरु तस्य ते कथिताय अर्थ प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः. मतलब अगर गुरु और भगवान दोनों को हम पूछते हैं तो जो आप बोलते हैं ना अभी के सारा नॉलेज हमें अपने आप आ जाए, रिवील हो जाएगा. तो ये बहुत ही अच्छा श्लोक है ये प्रभु जी.
Yes, Mataji, like Guru, who is he? He is an representative of the Supreme Lord. Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Sastre. He is not the Supreme Lord, but he is almost equal to the Supreme Lord because the Lord
Yes,
has
Prabhu.
sent him for us. So that is what is the Guru Tattva. Okay, with this, let us continue with our lesson. Now, thereafter, what happens? Uddhava is trying to tell who can bear to give up intimate talks with the Supreme Lord Uttama Sloka. Although he shows no interest in her, the goddess of fortune never moves from her place on his chest. Now, on this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to say that one gopi said, though a greedy man may not attain his desired object, he does not give up the desire for the object. Now, who can bear to give up the experience of Krishna's Uttama Sloka's beauty and sweetness? No one at all. And though Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is ignored by Krishna, she does not give up his chest, but remains there always in the form of a golden line. Now, then when Krishna was, then all these things they reminded constantly about Krishna for all the gopis Indeed, because the gopis say, because we see Krishna's footprints, which are marked with divine symbols, we can never forget him. Now, the one gopi said that when the memory of a desired object vanishes, the hopes for it also vanish. However, that will not happen with us because we can never forget Krishna. And the gopi said the rivers, the hills, the cows, the forest, the flute, they were resorted to or utilized regularly by Krishna. We cannot forget Krishna because we see his footprints marked with the divine symbol of a flag and thunderbolt remaining in the earth and stones. And the gopis, they are telling Uddhava, how can we forget him when our hearts have been stolen away by the charming way he talks, his generous smile and playful glances and his honey-like words. And to this, the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that Uddhava suggested, if you keep remembering Krishna by looking at the rivers, mountains, forest, Braja, then bind a cloth around your eyes, use your intelligence to lead your minds to some other thought, and thus forget Krishna. Now the gopis' reply was, Uddhava, it is not possible to forget Krishna because we are no longer we no longer possess our intelligence. Since Krishna has taken it away by his supreme beauty, charm and honey words, how can we do that? Now, then he said, the gopi said, oh, destroyer of suffering, Govinda, please lift your Gokula out of the ocean of distress in which it is drowning, as if it was drowning, and like he lifted the Govardhana hill, they are telling him to lift the Govardhana hill. Now here the feeling comes so strong that they disregarded Uddhava and turning towards Mathura, call out to Krishna in pitiful voices, O Krishna, you attract our minds even though we are unworthy. O Lord of Lakshmi, we also need to be mastered. Our great reservoir of amazing sweetness and tasteful loving reciprocations, which are begged for even by Lakshmi, Braja needs your shelter. And Sukadev Goswami, he said during this conversation that Lord Krishna's message having relieved the gopis' fever of separation, the gopis then worshipped Uddhava, recognizing him as non-different from their beloved Lord Krishna. And Sridhar Swami says that this means the gopis recognized Krishna to be the very soul of their lives and thus spiritually one with them. Now, in this slide, we'll see Krishna's confidential message through Uddhava, the Saraswati meditation. Meditate on their pastimes with him, that is, in his personal form. By his potency, they will feel his presence within themselves. Now, point one, these verses convey the deep emotional turmoil of the gopis as they call out for Krishna, illustrating their unwavering devotion and longing for him. The dialogue emphasizes that despite their physical separation from him, their memories of Krishna's beauty and charm remain indelible. That means even though they are separated, they can never forget Krishna. And the gopis express that their yearning for Krishna is akin to a greedy person's clinging to desires, underscoring the depth of their attachment. Like a greedy person always has a lot of desires. The gopis also had all these desires to unite with Krishna. And remember, this is totally permissible because this is a transcendental desire. And the side Lakshmi Devi, who remains devoted to Krishna, despite his indifference as a symbol of unyielding love. Lakshmi Devi, till now, she is on Krishna's chest, even though she has not been permitted to take part in the Rasa dance. And number 3 point, the gopis assert that even the memory of Krishna's presence presented through the natural scenery of Braja prevents them from forgetting him. Uddhava's suggestion to distract them from their memories is met with resistance. They didn't like this, they rejected this, as they declared that Krishna has captured their minds and hearts with his unparalleled beauty and sweet words. And this passage profoundly illustrates the intense emotional struggle and unwavering devotion of the gopis towards their beloved Krishna. Go to the next slide. Point number 4. As their feelings intensify, the gopis turn their calls toward Mathura, pleading with Krishna to return and relieve them from the agony of separation. They acknowledge his past deeds, such as lifting up the Govardhana hill, showcasing their faith in his protective nature. He is the one, he protected them from so many calamities in Braja when he was there for 11 years, and they are turning toward Mathura and praying him. And this desperate cries reflect not only their suffering but also a collective plea for the well-being of Gokula. And number 5, at this moment, they also recognize Uddhava as a messenger of Krishna, honoring him for his connection to their beloved Lord. And this demonstrates their deep devotion. They elevate Uddhava's status due to their love for Krishna, blending reverence and yearning in their heartfelt expressions. Because they love Krishna, they also loved equally to Uddhava also. The text beautifully encapsulates the essence of divine love and separation, highlighting the gopis' unwavering devotion in the face of anguish. Now, then what happens? Uddhava remained there for several months, means 6 months, dispelling the gopis' sorrow by chanting the topics of Krishna's pastimes. Thus, he brought joy to all the people of Braja. Now, here, what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, that when out of sorrow the gopis' hopes for Krishna's return grew dim, but they became eager to give up their lives. And Uddhava made them happy by speaking yet another message, even more confidential. And that is the significance of these verses that we'll be discussing now. And Sukadeva Goswami has not explicitly described these messages, but our acharyas, they have commented. Then Krishna said, the message of you who are as dear to me as life, while you are standing before my messenger Uddhava, just close your eyes, just as the coward boys closed their eyes and they were delivered from the forest fire. Close your eyes and I will deliver you from the devastating fire of separation and witness my mystic power. Then the gopis, hearing this, the gopis closed their eyes, and in a flash of a second, Yogamaya compressed millions of years of time into a single moment. Krishna then appeared on the spot, and in the company of the gopis, they enjoyed a rasa dance in the Vrindavan forest, playing dice, drinking honey liquor, water sporting, swing pastimes. And by enjoying all these pastimes, the gopis forgot all their pains of separation, and seeing that all their limbs were in ecstasy, Uddhava paused for a moment, then they said, now gopis, please open your eyes. And upon opening their eyes, the gopis felt that they had taken a new birth through Uddhava's association, and recognizing Uddhava is none different from Krishna, then they worshipped Uddhava. Then Krishna's message said, "O gopis, you are filled with prema. If you give up your lives, I'll also give up my life." Upon hearing this news, don't doubt it. Swearing 1,000 times, I declare that you are my very life. And even though I am trying to go to Braja at every moment, I am unable to do so. Perhaps I am being kept here because the time of the endeavor is not right, or else because the love of Mathura, Mathura Vasis have for me is an obstacle here. Now the gopis would say, "Oh, Uddhava, you have spoken very well. Now, even at the cost of suffering the greatest pain, will remain alive if you had not given this message, we would have suddenly died and everything would have been destroyed. Therefore, by saving us, you have fulfilled our desire to protect everyone in Braja, and thus we worship you. Now, the external meaning is that the gopis recognize their own souls as one with the transcendental Lord, the super soul, that is Krishna, is simply a meaning to bewilder the asuras. This is not the real meaning. Indeed, the scriptural passage is just like the Mohini incarnation in its effect. For the Prema Bhakta, oneness with the Lord and the Jiva is not correct. What to speak then, how repulsive it would be for the gopis who are the crest jewel of all unalloyed pure devotees. Sridhar Swami, and he says that any person who has become mad with bliss by sporting in the nectarian ocean of topics of Krishna thinks of the four goals of human life as insignificant as a blade of grass. Then all these days that Uddhava dwelled in Braja, in Nanda's covered village, seemed like a single moment to the residents of Braja. For Uddhava was always discussing about Krishna and the Brajavasis, the gopis, they liked it 24 hours in a day. And that servant of the Lord Krishna, seeing the rivers, the forests, the mountains, the valleys, the flowering trees of Braja, he was he totally enjoyed inspiring the inhabitants of Braja by remaining with them. And
Hare
thus,
Krishna Prabhu,
yes,
sorry to disturb you, but which
yes,
slide are you talking? Because I can only see slide 19. Everybody can see other slides?
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, 19 only.
Okay, I'm coming to that. Prelude to that, I'm saying what is given in the Bhagavatam, how the discussion went. That's what I am
Okay,
saying.
Prabhu. Sorry.
And Uddhava, as you know, Uddhava, amongst all persons on this earth, these coward women alone have actually perfected their lives and they have achieved the perfection. And how amazing is it that these gopis, these simple women who wander about in the forest, they are spoiled by improper behavior, have achieved the perfection of unalloyed love for the Supreme Lord Krishna. And when Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Rasa Leela, the gopis were embraced by the long arms of Supreme Lord. And this transcendental favor was not even given to goddess Lakshmi. And the goddess of fortune herself, along with Lord Brahma and the other demigods who are masters of yogic perfection, can worship the lotus feet of Krishna only within their mind. In person, they cannot do this. And Nanda and the other coward the men, they would say that may our mental functions always take shelter of Krishna's feet, and may our words always chant his names, and may our bodies always bow down to him and serve him. And the residents of Vrindavan, we are firmly convinced that even if they could not have direct association with Krishna, their beloved Krishna, they would never be indifferent to him. They were all supermost, the foremost devotees of the Supreme Lord. And then at the end, what happened after falling down to pay his homage, Uddhava described, he came back to Mathura and he described to Krishna the immense devotion the residents of Braja had. And Uddhava also described it to Vasudeva, then Balarama and King Ugrasena, and presented to them the various gifts of tributes he had brought from them. Now we'll see what is given. As their feelings intensify, the gopis turn their calls toward Mathura. This we have seen. Actually. Okay, the passage asserts the profound and unparalleled love of the gopis for Krishna, vividly conveyed through Uddhava's experience and messages. Uddhava is sent by Krishna to console the gopis, delivering hope during their despair caused by separation from him, and his words serve as a powerful reminder of Krishna's deep love for them, elevating their love and reigniting their spirits. Uddhava's role: Uddhava functions as a crucial messenger, delivering Krishna's intimate and confidential message to the gopis. He reveals that Krishna is equally impacted by their separation and encourages them to close their eyes, ushering in a mystical experience and personal relationship with God. The love of the gopis, that is Krishna prema, that is bhakti, embodies the highest form of devotion, decisively transcending conventional spiritual realizations and societal norms. Their feelings represent pure, selfless love and defies worldly logic, emphasizing their unique spiritual status. The gopis' love for Krishna definitely shows that God is not an abstract concept but a personal being with whom one can forge a deep emotional connection. Their love is intense and personal, illustrating that devotion, that is bhakti, is fundamentally about nurturing a heartfelt relationship with Krishna, whom they regard as beloved friend, lover, or child. Then go to the next slide. Supremely, the supremacy of unalloyed bhakti over jnana based philosophy. Now we are seeing the difference between bhakti and jnana. Now Uddhava emphasizes that the gopis, despite appearing ordinary, possess a form of love that far exceeds mere knowledge of scripture or philosophical understanding. Even if one knew all the Vedas, all the scriptures, still then one would not have so much of love for the Supreme Lord because this is so special. And in Vaishnavism, genuine love for God is unequivocally valued more than intellectual pursuits or spiritual knowledge. That means bhakti is at a higher platform than jnana. And this proves that true devotion is accessible to everyone, regardless of background or education. Like the gopis, they had no education, they had no background, but still they are the greatest devotees of the Supreme Lord. And Uddhava's desire for the dust of the gopis' feet symbolizes his aspiration to attain the pure love they embody. In Vaishnavism, the highest achievement is not merely devotion to God, but also the desire to serve and be in the presence of those who deeply love God. That means we should not just do devotional service, but try and aspire to serve the Supreme Lord in so many ways. And this highlights the undeniable importance of community and relationships amongst devotees. One should not think that if I singly I go to the Himalayas and in a cave I do penance, then I'll be able to see the Lord. It is not that. Here the example is the gopis as a community, the Brajavasis as a community. They worshipped him, means they loved him, and Krishna also loved them so much that he also could not bear the separation from them, and that's how it got compensated. And that is what is the relationship between the devotees and the Supreme Lord, and expressions of humility. And in their dialogue, Nanda and Yashoda, they express profound humility and a sense of unworthiness as Krishna's parents, starkly contrasting their feelings with the intense devotion of the gopis. They also came to know the love of the gopis, which was not hidden by now, and they openly lament their inability to adequately express their love for Krishna, conveying a deep sense of separation and longing. They also had, Nanda and Yashoda also had the same feeling like the gopis, but the gopis, their state was much higher. Now the conclusion is the narrative powerfully illustrates the deep emotional and spiritual layers of love between Krishna and the gopis, decisively showcasing the transformative power of devotion that transcends societal norms and personal identities, culminating in a profound connection with the divine. Now these gopis, they forgot, rather they abandoned all the societal norms, what is given in the society, what is given in the shastras, everything they gave up, and they achieved the highest perfection, and that's why they are known as the greatest devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And with this, I finish today's class. Now the session is open for question and answers and your comments. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So full of philosophy and emotions. I think it was really wonderful class, and you tried, you explained so nicely. I was also listening. So, Prabhuji, I have just one question, a couple of, but I'll just ask one, and if time is there, we'll talk the other one. So, at the last, it comes about Nanda and Yashoda also express their inability love as that of gopis. So, gopis love for Krishna is the supreme. Now,
Yes,
when we look at this is what is mentioned the last, but
yes,
we
yes.
see that which where there was a lacking that I don't understand. Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, their service to the Lord, okay, it may be a different bhava, vatsalya bhava, but where they lacked, because we see that Krishna tells that how to find out the place of my parents, like where the the flow of the their flow of their what you call just see that, follow that, and you will reach there. Where it lacks, I'm not seeing that difference, because they were also 24/7. They were remembering them. We see how Yashoda Maya did not do any work, and everything was there. Like yesterday, we saw that, right? All the cow sheds and everything was hanging there, and they did not take care of themselves. Gopis also, they did not take care of that. If we compare one by one, I still have a difficulty to understand where they lacked it. So that's my question, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. It is a very nice question. Now you see, there are so many types of devotees. Like somebody is Sakya, somebody is in Vatsalya, somebody is in, say, Gopi Bhava. Like this, there are so many. But here we cannot say one is better than the other. But here, what finally we saw, what Nanda and Yashoda they are seeing in the gopis initially they had hidden their love for Krishna. But when he left Braja, then it came in the open. And more so when Uddhava came, it was openly known by anybody and everybody that they loved Krishna and they didn't mince their words at all. Like this, Nanda Baba and Yashoda, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, complete it, then I'll make comment on that. You complete what you're saying.
Nanda Baba and Yashoda, there is no lacking in their devotion, in their love for Krishna. But they felt the gopis, they are doing a greater job. It is not that they were at a lower position and the gopis are in a higher position. It is not like that. But they felt like that, like every devotee, a pure devotee, he always thinks that whatever he or she is doing for the Lord, that is nothing. And he or she is doing nothing. She is not able to perform anything to the Supreme Lord. That is the level of a higher level devotee. And this is what is happening to Nanda and Yashoda. Not that actually they are inferior to the gopis in any way. There is no doubt about it. I'll request Charu Prabhuji to say something.
Yes. Sharat Bhuj is absolutely right. You cannot really differentiate Nanda Baba Yashoda Maya's love, Vatsalya Prema, or same way the Sakas, the gopis. That way you cannot compare, because each of them they love from their particular angle. Okay. However, why conjugal rasa, madhurya rasa is the topmost, is the degree of intimacy. See, with your parents, you have so much degree of intimacy, right? With your friends, you have so much, but with your wife, you're most intimate. So that intimacy is the one. And the gopis were suffering, their suffering is anyway, it is not inferior to what the sufferings Yashoda may have felt for Krishna, okay? You cannot compare that. However, the gopis love, their heart, that pain they were feeling for that is the highest, Radharani, you know, is in that regard. Because the greater the intimacy, the greater you miss so much. Parents, of course, feel they miss, you know, but that intimacy is the one which is very, very extremely dear, you know. That's in that regard why conjugal rasa is considered the topmost madhurya rasa. Because in Priti Sandarbha, the Jiva Goswami talks about that intimacy factor.
Yeah, so there, as you say that.
Jiva Goswami talks about that particular question that you were asking. He directly answers that question. You know?
So that intimacy, that means which connects with the Lord, it's a more in Madhurya Rasa than conjugately less.
No, you have an intimacy with your parents.
Yeah,
with
but
your
limited.
Friends,
Yes.
But you, how much with whom you spend more time? You know.
Yeah.
It's your wife, your love, the beloved.
Yeah.
You know, the first love. Everybody, you know, cannot forget that. You know, because that great degree of intimacy is there. That's why.
Yeah.
See,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
The Uddhava also saw that in the gopis' love for that. You know.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Krishna.
Yeah.
Any other comment or question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Haripur.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, as Lord Krishna was in front of them physically, so for gopis, for Uddhava, for Narada, so it was easy to serve. But for us, as it becomes very difficult for how to love Lord Krishna. So we do imitate, we do try to practice, but still it's there, na Prabhuji. So how we can go forward?
Everybody that is that we all have a particular spiritual form. It's not like that, you know, we want in that form actually. It's naturally is there. Okay. Somebody who is in a Vatsalya bhav or somebody who's in a Sakya bhav, they don't want to change that bhav to come to a conjugal rasa. They would insist to love Krishna in that particular bhav. So that factor what Nityasaki Mataji is talking about is exactly that. Those people who are in that particular rasa, they under no circumstances they would change their rasa. So that is the natural feeling for Krishna, and Krishna will reciprocate in that particular way.
Have our inherent bhavas, and as Prabhuji said, that will be known at the correct time, and that bhava does not change. But there is one person who worships the Supreme Lord with all the bhavas, and that is whom?
Radha.
Lord
Radha
Shiva.
Rani. Oh, I see.
Lord Shiva. That is the only exception. Otherwise, for us, one bhava and that will not change. We do not know what is that. That will come at the correct time. We will realize that. And in the Gaudiya Vaishnava system, it is said that it will be revealed by the Guru. In which lifetime, that we also do not know.
जी that means जो भी भाव में हम भजते हैं वो भाव अपने आप में फुल है, फुलेस्ट है. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमें फिर डिग्री चेंज करनी, ऊपर जाना, ऐसा नहीं. जो भाव है वो फुलेस्ट ही है.
Yes.
बराबर है.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, we do understand he is in deity's form. He is there expanded in terms of books, his books.
See, one is serving a Bala Rupa, Balya Swarupa, they would not trade with any other form. They would always want to see baby Krishna.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
fine,
Prabhuji,
continue.
on that question, it's like mother's question. It is said that that will come only when we are at bhava level, not before that. So we have to serve right now where we are only in dasya on reverence, right?
No, but
Or
in a
understand all
spiritual
the script.
form, we may not develop that, but in our spiritual form, eternal form, that bhava
Yeah,
is fixed there. Life after life after life.
it will come only when we are in a bhava or prema, just before prema,
Yeah,
not before that. Yes.
no, that's true, but that bhava is already inherent within us in a
Yes.
particular lifetime that is there,
Yeah.
In sadhana bhakti, when it comes, that is all right. But there is another way also. It can come anytime, even in this lifetime, it can come tomorrow also. That is, if the Lord is pleased, if we are able to please the Lord, and if He pleases with us, then it can come anytime. And it has happened to many devotees also. It can happen.
Topmost requirement is to be association of devotee. उसमें रहेंगे तो सब. That is the most important thing.
That's why actually
Prabhuji.
that particular form, they say that, we are Raganuga Bhakta, right? So we follow in the footsteps of Ragatmika. So if you want to love Krishna in a Vatsalya Prema, you follow in the footsteps of Nanda Baba in Yashoda Maya. Same way, if you are in a Sakya Bhav, you follow that particular Ragatmika Bhakta who is in that particular form. That's what Prabhupada said in some of the purports that I remember long time back. I read that,
Yes, yes, Prabhupada.
प्रभु जी वो तो अभी मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा, मगर हम इतना तो कर सकते हैं कि हम अहेतु की भक्ति करें, बस कुछ
Yeah,
भगवान से चाहे.
Abhi,
That is our.
you're right. So actually at this point, I would not worry about all these things. Whatever the bhava that is there today, right now, at this particular stage of our development, you stay there. It's up to Krishna to decide that, right? And when the time comes, he will give us that qualification, necessary qualification. Your goal is there, but we are not at that point yet,
We should not worry about this, right, Prabhuji?
No, that's
We
right.
have to
Yeah,
do
you continue
continuously our
from the point
whatever.
that you are here. And remember,
we
even
have.
the point at which we are here right now, there is also extraordinary fortune we have. At this point, all of us, we are right now here. There is also extraordinary fortune. Not many people have even this level. Just consider millions of people on the out in the street. They don't have this kind of thing. So there is also mercy of Krishna and his devotees. And we came to this path many lifetimes before, and we are just continuing on that path. The evolution will continue, keep on going. So we don't. It's like they said that don't pull the horse beyond the cart. That's what I'm saying. Okay, Prabhu, continue. Any more questions from other people?
Any other question or comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. So, such a wonderful class, Prabhu. Was really glued in, listening, and very, very deep thoughts here.
Sanjay, bro, you could share with us because you spend so much time with your Guru Maharaj, and particularly when you go to Yatra with him, a lot of intimacy time that you must be having them, and they must be giving many, many lectures. So perhaps you might have learned quite a few things if you would care to share with us some of your interaction with your Guru Maharaj,
Yeah, Prabhu. So there is a very, so there is Vaisheshika Prabhu, my Guru Maharaj, and there is a very exalted devotee called Madhvananda Prabhu. They give a lot of classes on this Madhurya Bhav and mood that we should have in Jagannath Puri, which all of you have covered at several points. But yeah, let me take that and put something in.
Okay. Some days when you feel like,
yeah,
when you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
some
no,
incident, some that left a lasting impression on you, perhaps you could share with us, and we might learn something, a point
Sure.
or two.
Sure. So yeah, there's lot of depth. They speak again about this topic of the Radha Bhav or the mood of Radharani. One of
I
that
had
you
very
touched.
close, I had very close association with Sharad Prabhuji's Guru Maharaj. He used to visit many times here. Now, of course, quite last few years, because of his health situation, he hasn't come here that often. But before, he used to give series of classes on Bhagavad, particular subject. He would take it up, and few group of verses they'll talk about. And I had a lot of personal kind of talk with him many times. He talks a lot about this particular Madhurya Bhav in his lectures. Sharad Prabhu, you might know more about it.
Yes, probably.
Radha Govind Maharaj, I'm talking about.
Yes, probably.
He is a wonderful speaker. So amazing.
And उनकी हिंदी है इतनी प्यारी मीठी बोलते हैं लैंग्वेज में, इतनी स्वीटली बोलते
मुझे
हैं.
हर रोज उनका एक श्लोक आता है व्हाट्सएप पे, उनका ट्रांसलेशन, मतलब वो एक्सप्लेन करते हैं हर रोज एक श्लोक का, बहुत ही अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करते हैं.
Typical
Word by
Bihari,
word explain.
Yes. The way I like it most, the particular Bihari Hindi he talks about.
Yes.
Very typical Bihari Hindi. You have to know what is Bihari Hindi. It's so sweetness is there.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And the way he will describe, that scenery will come right in front of your eyes, whatever he describes.
Yes. We have heard. Like there is one mention that quickly comes to mind. Like in the separation, Radharani is, her symptoms are described that she is in a very, very high feverish state.
Yeah.
And she's like just like almost about to leave her body or die. I mean, that's a
Prabhuji, it is
spiritual body.
called
So
trance.
yeah.
It is called
Yeah.
trance.
Correct. So then like the other Sakhis are around her, and then she says, I would have left this world without Krishna, but the only latch on the door, because I cannot open, is the promise he made, which we covered today, right? That I will come back, and if you do anything to yourself, I will also.
Radharani says that
we cannot.
It's for the sake of Krishna.
Yeah.
If I am not there, Krishna will suffer, and for that purpose, she would see that even I cannot give, because my prana is also with him.
Yeah. So for today, Prabhu, I had one question. The 9 levels of this, 10 levels of this from Prajalpa. Now there is Prajalpa here, and there is also Prajalpa we say in our.
No,
that
Prajalpa, that is different. Prajalpa
that's
is
different, right? That's a different.
That's
unnecessary talking.
Mundane talk,
But the word is the same. So
no,
in
it's
the
not a
Sanskrit,
Prajalpa. It's not a Prajalpa actually. It's in a different way. Its pronunciation is there.
the pronunciation is also different.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense. Otherwise, yeah.
Sometimes Sanskrit word has so many meanings.
In Radharani, sometimes you feel like it's a loose talk, right? But in that Divya Unmada, she talks about that in a madness kind of thing, So to an ordinary person, it might look like Prajalpa, but it's not that Prajalpa, that kind of Prajalpa.
Oh, that's.
It's a Divya Unmada kind of Prajalpa,
That's thank you.
The divine madness, and that you cannot imitate. It comes automatically.
Like many of the symptoms you will find in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially in the last 12 years he lived in the material world. and that 12 years totally under seclusion. That time he was showing all these bhavas. Any other
Yes,
comment,
Prabhu.
question?
Yeah, Prabhuji, if nobody has, I have one more question. Because, again, emphasis is always Sambhoga and Vipralamba. And Sambhoga, union is okay, but it's not that okay compared to Vipralamba, where that lamentation, everything happens. And that has been projected here more on that. Um, Difficult to sometimes understand, because for whom we are worshipping, he himself is present, but we want to reject him and just think about him. Mentally it's difficult. But I see one example. Valmiki Ramayana, you see at the end, right? At the almost end of that one, when Lord Ram was living, at that Hanuman was also there, and he says also, you come, and then he says, is there any katha for me? And that Hanuman, Ram, what he says, I myself is there, what else you want? He says, I need your katha, right? So you again connect with that story, but
Yes,
difficult to understand,
Srila
right?
Prabhu is studying Ramayana. He might be able to tell you.
Yeah, it's at the end is that Valmiki Ramayana. I just finished in Ram Navami, so that chapter comes, and he says, if katha is not there, I'm not coming. But Ram says, I am there. This is the same thing again. What we are talking about here, and that is the one of thing. Then he remains here, and then he has been given benediction that whomever worships you, he gets a mercy of Lord Ram. So that's the one point I understand. Second thing, Prabhuji, again, today we were talking about how to behave in this material world, right? One is Krishna's love, and another is, all the family. Looks like we talk about think globally and act locally. Think
Hmm.
whole picture, act locally.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the consciousness should be there. That is the only purpose, and we have to do what we are right now today. We can't live with that, right? So I was just thinking, just to sharing, on that. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So nice class, nice session.
Thank you for sharing that.
Prabhuji, adding to this राधा विनोद प्रभु जी स्टेटमेंट, प्रभु जी इसमें ऐसा है कि अटैचमेंट नहीं रखना है, बस सब हमारे कर्तव्य कर्म करते रहना है, सारे जितने भी भगवान ने दिए वो, मगर अटैच
Yeah.
भगवान से होना है, और कार्य हमें यहाँ से करना है बस.
Yes.
It is right understanding, प्रभु जी.
One word about what Radha Vinod Prabhuji was telling about the story in the Ramayana. Now, that story I have, I think, told you long time back. I'll just repeat it. Initially, at the end, what happened, as Radha Vinod Prabhuji said, Lord Rama, he wanted to leave, and Hanuman, he asked, are there in are you going to conduct any katha there in the spiritual world? He said, no, there are no kathas, I am there. That's why he said, then I do not want to go there. I want to hear the kathas. But in the very beginning, Hanuman, he was not in a habit of listening to kathas. He was not having sadhu sangha. He thought he is associating with the Supreme Lord himself, and what is the requirement of associating with the devotees and others. So that was thinking. So Lord Rama, what happened? Once he wanted to give him a chance, rather he wanted to persuade him to hear the katha. Then he told him, the Hanuman, you should go and hear some katha from somewhere. Then Hanuman could not say no. He said, okay, okay, then I'll find some time and I'll go. Then one day he said, okay, I'll go for katha. Then he went to hear katha, and the speaker was Kakabhusundi. Now, Kakabhusundi, he was giving the Rama katha. Then he had reached the point where Hanuman, he crossed over the ocean and he reached Lanka. Now he described Then Hanuman just he stood on the side of the shore. He increased his size and he became very, very huge. Then he put his another step on the other side and he reached Lanka. Like this, the story finished. Then Hanuman thought, now these Kathakars, they are always exaggerating. I am the Hanuman. I went to Lanka and I know how I went, and he is telling some other story. What is this? But he didn't tell anybody. He came back and Rama asked him, I hope you heard the katha, how was it? He said, yes, yes, it was all right like this. Ram, he understood what was in his mind. And what he did a lila. He somehow, he was trying to play with the ring he was wearing in his fingers and somehow it dropped down. Then he told Hanuman, you just get it. Then Hanuman, he went after this ring throughout the universe, but he was not able to bring that ring. And finally, that ring arrived in a cave, and there was a huge monkey sitting. And our Hanuman, he went, then that monkey asked Hanuman, who are you? Why have you come? I cannot admit anybody here without permission of my master. He said, I am Hanuman. Then he laughed loudly at him. He said, you are looking so thin and yeah, you do not have the body of Hanuman and you cannot be Hanuman at all. Oh, okay, if you are saying you are Hanuman, you just wait, I will ask my master. Then he went inside. Inside there was actually Hanuman. Hanuman of some other age, some other kalpa. Then he asked this monkey, he said, I hope you have not insulted him. He said, no, 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 I told him like this. He said, no, no, get him here. Then he got him here, got him in front of him. And when our Hanuman, he went in front of that Hanuman, he saw him sitting on a jeweled throne and water is coming from his eyes. He was doing taking the name of Lord Rama and Sita, and water was coming from his eyes, and all this water they were collecting in a big place, something like a lake-like thing. And Hanuman went and he said, I have come to find this ring. I saw this ring coming here. Then he said, okay, okay, you go there in that pond, it is lying. Then when Hanuman went, he saw same type of rings, thousands and millions of them in that pond. Then he was totally confused. He said, what is this? Then that Hanuman, he told him this story. He said, this thing happens in every kalpa. In this kalpa, you are the Hanuman, that is right. And Lord Rama, he does this story every time. And every time the ring comes and it falls here in this lake. And once it falls, then it automatically gets reverted to Lord Rama. So that is what is it. We actually do not know all the stories. We think things are exaggerated, they may be false, but there are connections. And in each kalpa, the stories are little different. Like the story of Ramayana, in I'm just forgetting in some the Purana, the basic Ramayana of 4 kalpas are described. So they are much different and we should try to relish them.
Speaking of the Sharat Prabhuji, speaking of this Purana, I found that Harivansha Purana, many of the stories that there you find is so different from what we see in Bhagavatam. Very, very different. Very different.
Yes, Prabhuji, that is basically based on Mahabharata. There is a commentary on Mahabharata, and Mahabharata, much at a greater length than what we see today. Even Bhagavatam, what we spoke about Uddhava, he told this, recited this this Bhagavatam to the queens of Dwarka, and that Bhagavatam was had 1 lakh verses. We have got 18,000 verses, but that had 1 lakh verses. Like this, the scriptures, they are much different. Like the Mahabharata, which is there in the Devaloka, that is much bigger than what we have here in the material world.
Yeah, Prabhuji, there Uddhava spoke for 1 month, right? To the queens of Dwarka. Whereas here he spoke for 7 days.
Yes.
Sukdev Goswami, and that is 18,000. So even if that calculation, it goes that, right? 1 lakh slokas versus 18,000 slokas.
No, that has been designed by Vyasadeva because our intelligence is this much. We are not able to read these 18,000 verses. Rather, Sanskrit we cannot understand. So like this, we have got our limitations in this age, and that's why Vyasadeva has designed all those things for us only. But still, they are so difficult for all of us.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Talk. So now it's time. We should come to the time now for the national prayer.
Yes.
Samita Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Samita Mataji is there.
My
Yes,
turn to sing.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Oh,
Mataji.
Archana Mataji, you want to do it? Whosoever.
Today, I am supposed to sing.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do it, please. Go ahead.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahladaladadayini Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankana khalaye To Nasimha Parato Nasimha Yato yami tato Nasimha Mahir Nasimha Hrudaye Nasimha Nasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye Navakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavadvita Dhara Hari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय assembled devotees की जय हरे कृष्णा
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Next weekend we will have class by Rajiv Prabhuji and Radha Vinod Prabhuji. And thereafter, next to next, the Samta Mataji and Archana Mataji. Archana Mataji series of classes will come in the Dwarka Leela. Till 87, lesson 87 is Braja Leela. Then from 88 onwards, the Dwarka Leela, the chapters will start.
Yeah, I've been redoing the PowerPoints now. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Right.
Prabhuji,
Thank you very
that
much.
47 chapter, are you sending that notes, Prabhuji? I didn't see that PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah, please share.
That will be
मुझे
done.
भी नहीं मिले प्रभु जी मुझे
Yes,
मेरे पास नहीं आए
that will be done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam
Hare
to all
Krishna.
devotees.
thank you
Hare
प्रभु
Krishna.
जी
pranams to everyone hare
Thank you
krishna
very much.
Hare Krishna.
दंडवत
जी
प्रणाम
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम
End of now.